Hi everyone, welcome to the keys. This is Miracle Anderson, and in this lesson, we'll be starting our worship baseline series. Okay, so as usual, it's going to be in the key of F sharp, F, C sharp, and then C. So this is likely going to be the intro, and the intro is going to focus on two things. Number one, the piano settings we might want to try. Then number two, some basic stuff we need to learn in order to start using bassline in worship. So number one, the settings. So if you want to play bassline and then chord progression at the same time, I will advise you use the string voice on your right. Okay, either the string or pad. So you can either use string, slow string, one pad. You can check your piano settings. We have different kinds of keyboard, but under your string, check the one you like. I am not a fan of lots of settings. There are many people that are so addicted to settings that a song of 5 minutes they will use 4 minutes setting their sound. I don't. It's somehow irritating and distracting. So once you play where you sound well, that is just it. So just make sure you have few sounds that you work with. Okay, so you have string or one pad. You can also use grand piano and then you dual it with string. There is another thing, but when I want to play bass line, I make sure I use string and then my bass on the left, because if I begin to use a grand piano voice, I'll be tempted to want to play licks on my right hand. I want to play things I shouldn't play. Why? So it will be shifting me from the focus I need to have while playing the bass line to, having many stuff to play with. That is one. Then on your keyboard, if your keyboard don't have the split function, sorry, this will not be for you. So you need to have keyboard have split function, so you can check around your keyboard has split. So when you press the split button, you should know this by now, but let me just say, when you press the split button, what it does is it separates your sound. So what the split actually do is it separate the keyboard into two parts. The upper part we have one voice, while the lower part we have another voice. So, and it's not limited to just bass lines. Guitar voices on the left. You can also put any other voice on the left. Okay, like I've seen where some people have string on the left and then they have flute on the right. Just that the problem with splitting is you can't sustain it. Okay, so there is no sustain effect. I don't know if it's this low keyboard. I don't know if other keyboard will have it, but most of the keyboard I've used, you don't sustain the split voice. You only sustain the dual voice and the main voice. So what voice can we use at the bass level? So you can use so this voice is finger bass or bass. You can also use acoustic bass. So this acoustic bass. You can also use pick bass. I love this one when I'm playing makossa press. So then we have the fretless. So if you ask me, what's of the slap bass? So I would recommend, just like I said earlier, I don't use much sound. I'm not obsessed with sounds. I just make sure I sound well and choose my settings. So finger bass or the pick bass. So now this is my opinion, so you can use the one you like. Okay, so yeah, that is it. Now the next thing is muscle memory exercise. That is finger exercise. Now is this thing that I just played that look simple. If your hands are not flexible or your fingers are not flexible, you can't be playing just like so you need to work on your fingers. Now, what are the exercises? I told us that this is going to be like an introduction, and it's very important. You need to gain flexibility. And the exercise I want to give is practice. Listen carefully. Practice your major scale and your minor scale, or all the 12 keys, using the right fingers. Okay, so for those in the intermediate class, I'll be sending the chart to you, the 12 major, the 12 minor. I'll be sending the chart to you and the right fingers to use. So when you know how to, like those in the beginners class already, they already have this advantage, because part of the first exercise that we'll be doing, you must know how to play the major scale with the right fingerings in all 12 keys, and the minor scale also. So when you use the right fingers, you have weak fingers. Yeah, you have weak fingers. When you begin to play, you will discover that there are certain fingers you like using more than others. Those ones that you don't like using, those are your weak fingers, and you must learn how to use them. When I play bassline, I use on my fingers. And another issue with bassline is I can't dictate the fingerings you should use. Once it comes to bassline, this is why you have to practice, and discover the fingers that will be more easier to use when you want to make your bassline movement. So that is for you to discover. So practice the major scale on all 12 keys. Okay. Then the next exercise that I want you to practice is now exercise 1, practice the major and minor scale on 12 keys. I know most of you will not do this. You want to skip it to just proceed. If you come to my inbox and you tell me that I'm not catching up, I will always refer you back to the exercise, because it's going to work. It's an exercise that works, so it's going to work. So if exercise practice the 12 major scale with their correct fingerings and the 12 minor scales with their correct fingerings, practice them 2 hours per day for 1 week. Listen carefully. If you like, go and do it for 1 hour and say I've mastered it, I can do it now. Practice it 2 hours per day for 1 week. Then exercise 2, practice this exercise. So the first exercise, now using the right fingers, your right hand will just hold the chord, then just play. So your right hand is on the chord, and your left hand just play the major scale. Okay. Then exercise 2 on number 2 exercise, or let me say exercise B. You now have so it's do, re, mi, fa, mi, re, do. But when you're going too far, then you change your chord. It might seem easier at first, but to some persons it will be difficult to transit easily. So you keep on doing it until you have gained mastery. with your eyes closed. That is when you know that you have gained mastery. Okay. So the next one is to this is going to be the last exercise because I don't want to make the video too long. Play the major scale on your left hand while you play the corresponding chords on your right hand. So you can use any inversions. You can play with inversions here on my right hand. So now this exercise, please don't rush. I keep on saying this just as some persons will not hear, and if you don't hear, it's you that it will hurt, not me. Now if any of this exercises that I just mentioned seems to be hard, now this is a secret. Start very slow and you will get it. Start what? Very slow. So slow, then before you can undo, start very slow. So if this exercise should take you 2 weeks, use 2 weeks of effective, good rehearsals. Don't go and rehearse 10 minutes and think you are done. So rehearse this thing. I think I've given you 3 exercises, if not 4. Practice them and your hands will be flexible, because if your hands are stiff, sorry, you will, I used to be surprised when I see pianists and they say I see struggle with bassline, and then how long have you been playing? I've been playing 5 years, 6 years. What were you doing those? Although I understand some people really don't have interest, why some persons also have bassists in the church, so there is really no need for them to learn how to play bass line on the keyboard. But maybe the person that was playing the bass guitar is no longer around and they have to play bass guitar, and you have to improvise. You have to be the keyboardist and the bass guitar at the same time. So sometimes you have to occupy different offices. So then I'll be like and so we say I've been practicing for 1 year and you have been doing it wrong. So work on this. If you are faithful with these exercises, you will discover that even before the next video, you're already playing something. Inspiration will begin to come. Alright, see you guys in the next lesson.